Did you know you only need 5 exercises to stay in shape as a sailor? So many people think they need all kinds of equipment or loads of exercises for, well, staying in shape in general. But that's just not true. You can do off with just little exercises you can do at home. And if you're stuck at home and you need something to do, this video will be great for you, because it will teach you what exercises are important, but also we'll look at what regions are important for a sailor and why. And after seeing this video, you can just go off and train like a real professional. I don't know, I'm not a professional, but you will do the stuff that will help you with your sailing and just life in general. So stick along and it will be great fun. So I want to start out with just touching on how to know what exercises you should do. And for sailors, this is very straightforward. You want to focus on your core always for support. You want to focus on your upper body, so the chest, the shoulders, the arms and the upper back is very important for sailors, and the lower back is very important for support when handling like lines, hauling in lines and stuff. So the thing with sailing is you are sedentary most of the time, so especially with small boats, and so you don't use the legs as much. Although you do need good leg support, you will mostly use your upper body twisting and stuff, pulling lines, which is like pulling is it requires a lot of strength. You also need very strong hands, obviously. So training those is very important. So if you could just do 5 exercises, which 5 would you do? Well, I would say you do burpees, which is, everybody hates burpees, which is like you do a plank and then you jump up all the way up and you get into the plank again. It's very tiring. I'd say you do push-ups, which is one of the best all-round exercises. Planks, so it's all plank, right? It's all core, upper body, lower back. Single leg squats is very good for developing your thighs and your stability. And I like this one a lot, just for the name. The Aquaman is very good for sailors, obviously because of the name, right? So don't worry, I'm not gonna show you all these exercises because I'm not a professional instructor of any kind. I did used to do some of these exercises, I know a lot of them, but don't take my word for it, please. I'm not an instructor. But I'll put links in the description to all the exercises explained and demonstrated by actually licensed fitness instructors. So you can go check those out if you want to see the proper form, the good explanation of each exercise. And I really try to find very good examples, good videos. So I really recommend, if you want to get into working out at home as a sailor, check out that list with videos down below. It will really get you up to speed. And that's what this channel is all about. So if you're new here, welcome. We really try to help, or I really try to, I'm alone. Who am I kidding, right? I really try to help out you with making your sailing dream more attainable, actionable, with practical tips. If you're just starting out, great, join along, hit that subscribe button, click the like button to beat YouTube's algorithm, which is what this channel is all about, beating the algorithm with you guys, and I really need your help for that, so please do if you haven't already. So back to the exercises. Let's start with the core exercises, which is very important just for general stability and mobility. So your core is like your abdominals, and your lower back and the sides of your, like, can you see? This is the core, let's say, right? So how do you train that? Well, you train that with mostly tension exercises. So it's very important for stability, for balance, endurance. So if you're a long day on the water, you don't want to wear yourself out completely. So the core is very important for stamina. and it is there to prevent injury. So if you have good core support, if you hold in lines without good support from your core, you'll most likely use your shoulder and arm too much, and the chance of simply pulling a muscle in the shoulder is very, very big then. So 5 great exercises for your core are planks, as always. And I think you know what planks are, so I'll just move on. T-stances are very good. And T-stances are, well, I didn't know them, but you stand on one leg and then you raise your arms and you like you fold over like in a tabletop position in a way. So that's the T-stance. Then we have the split lunge with rotation, which is a deep lunge, and then you rotate the body, which is great for mobility and general stability. And renegade rows, which is sort of a plank, but then you pull a dumbbell up with one arm while holding the plank with the other arm, like leaning into one arm, like moving all your weight to your left arm, and then with your right arm you pull up in a way, which is great for your upper body and your core. And single leg squats, which is wonderful to develop your thighs. And your thighs are your biggest muscle group, the largest, and you even if you don't use the legs that much, just for general stability, support, stamina, developing your thighs is very, very good practice. And single leg squats are very hard and very good for your stability as well. So moving on to the second group, and this is the most important group for sailors specifically, we go to the upper body. And the upper body is just, you use it all the time for trimming the sails, for hauling in lines, for operating the winches and stuff. And you want a strong upper body, otherwise you'll just you'll pull all the muscles and you have massive muscle pain after a day on the water. So good upper body strength is very important. So what are some good exercises for your upper body? Well, the 5 I'd recommend are push-ups, which is just a very good general overall exercise, and that's why everybody, like almost everybody that works out, does push-ups. You use so much muscles with push-ups, like you engage the shoulders, the chest, the upper body, the lower body, because it's also a plank, so it's also a core support exercise and a stability exercise. And I have a top tip for you, because what I work out a little, and what I recently discovered is that when working out we tend to do a lot of reps, like 20-30 reps, and then 3 sets, and then go on to the next exercise, and we tend to go through these exercises very quickly. But what if I told you that you could do like 7 reps, 1 set, and then move on to the next and like do 3 or 5 exercises and be done with it? So you'd be done in like 15 minutes of exercise. And the reason I say this is because a lot of people tend to overtrain and under recover. And when I started to like train more lightly and very slowly, so this is very important. I do these exercises in a 5 by 5 cadence. So I do 5 seconds down and then 5 seconds up, and this increases the time under tension for your muscles. So you maximize the tension time, and then you do only 7 reps, and then you just stop and you recover. So try that out for once. It has done wonders for me. And what it does is it gives your muscles time to recover fully before working out again, and not overtrain, because that's just a waste of energy, right? So, all right, back to the exercises. Sorry for that little. That's just my philosophy on exercise. So, sorry for indulging myself. The next one is shoulder taps, which is just a plank. And you alternate like shoulder taps while you hold the plank with the other hand. So the next exercise are tabletop lifts, and this is like a bridge pose. So you get into like a crab position, so with your chest opening up to the ceiling. and then you push your hips upwards. And this is just a great hip and chest opener, and it's very good for stability and mobility, and just for a general upper body strength. So that's a very interesting exercise, but be sure to check out the instructional videos in the description, because if you mess up the form on this one, you can really hurt your back. I've done that once, and I felt like an old man for a week, so be sure to check that out. Then we have overhead adduction, which is just simply the old man's mobility exercise, but it's very good just for general shoulder mobility. And chin-ups. And chin-ups are, most people find chin-ups very hard. So you have this bar, you put it inside of your door frame, and then you hang out completely with your palms facing your hand, and you slowly pull up until the chin reaches the bar, and then you slowly lower down again. And doing this with just your body weight most people find this very difficult to do just once with full extension. So try that. Just find a bar at the playground or stuff and try to do a couple of chin-ups and see where you stand. Here's a great tip. If you can't do it with your body weight, you can get these exercise elastics, like these rubber bands, and you can step into, like you can tie the rubber band to the bar and then step into the rubber band, and this will take off like 10, 20, 30 kilos of your body weight. And this is a great way to lower your body weight. So the last segment of your body I'd want to take a look at is the lower back. Lower back exercises are very important for sailors too, because they provide support. Just like with your core, you need the lower back and the core to engage, so you don't hurt yourself, because you put a lot of you use a lot of energy and put a lot of tension on your upper body. So if you have a good, well-developed lower back and core, you can do all these twists under tension stuff when working the lines. So 5 great exercises to develop your lower back strength at home without equipment are the Aquaman and the Superman Flutter. And the Aquaman is just so, it just feels right to include it here for sailors, but it's not just for fun. It's not just for the name, as I said, but it's also because it's a great exercise for sailors. And the Aquaman, if you don't know, is when you lie on your belly and you raise your chin, let's say, and your upper body, your upper back, and you raise your legs as well, like your feet. So you're like this. If you lay on the floor, you do like this in a way, and then you raise your right arm and your left leg, and then you raise your left arm and your right leg. And it's just great for lower back strength. It's a very good lower back developer. And the next exercise is really similar. It's the Superman Flutter. And this is one where you do the same thing, but you just pick up the pace. It's a bit faster. And those are great for lower back. The next one is the bird dog, and that's similar, but on your knees and hands. So if you find it difficult to do the Aquaman, for example, because of the lower back not being very, very well developed, I suggest trying out the bird dog first, where you do the same alternating motion, but then a bit higher off the floor. And the last one is the leg lower, and this exercise is just a pain in the butt. It always makes me want to throw up. So this is where you lay flat on your back with your face, you're facing the ceiling, and you have your legs up, and then you lower them very slowly while engaging the core and the lower back, and just before your heels touch the ground, you raise them up again. And oh man, do this for like 10 times and it always gets me sick in a way, but it's a very good exercise. So I really suggest you try that one out as well. Lastly, also very importantly, recovery. And that rhymes. Did a great job there. recovery is very important. And as I already said briefly, increase your recovery time. Try it out for once. And I find it did wonders for me. I increased my recovery time up to like 4 days. So mostly they advise you to have like 48 hours of recovery between sessions, but increase that to like 72 hours or 96 hours, like 4 days, and see what that does for you. Because if you start exercising before the muscles are fully recovered, you sort of cut them off in a way, and that's just wasted energy in my mind. So actually, when I started to work out less and did like 4-day intervals, suddenly I increased my muscle buildup. Like I started to build some more muscle after like being stable for 10 years. So not that it's not it's not very impressive, but it's more than it used to be. So that's another top tip for you. So if you like this video and you want to tag along for the ride, where I just figure out sailing stuff as I go and figure out how to own a boat and what it will cost me, please like and subscribe this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.